Let's bring in our US correspondent, Jackson Gosnell, live for us tonight in South Carolina. Jackson, take us through some of the more controversial elements of this law.
Well, Leo, we're monitoring many stories here in the U.S., including the Georgia voting law. As you may recall, the Georgia governor signed a new voting law into effect. Now, that voting law has some very interesting elements to it, and that is why many Democratic lawmakers are opposed to it. President Biden called this new voting law something that was like in the Jim Crow era, he said. And also, we're learning that many businesses are pulling out from doing business in Georgia in response to this law. Now, the law states that no third party can serve food or drink while people are waiting in line. It requires multiple forms of ID in some cases. It also limits hours of vote drop box locations, which were previously opened for extended periods of time. Now, people on the left say that this is voter suppression and that this should not happen. People on the right think that this law is wonderful. They think that it ensures there is security within America's voting system. So that's where we are, and many government officials are urging people who do business in Georgia to halt any type of business that they're doing in Georgia. Now, Apple CEO Tim Cook responded to all of this, and he says that he wants people to be able to vote with their iPhone. He says that your iPhone stores information about your life, and that in many cases, people have more information on their electronics than they do in their physical home. So he says it just makes sense. A lot of people really disagreeing with that, though, because the voting system has always been done in a very low-tech manner, and people say it should continue to be done that way because of security reasons and the potential for hacking into various systems. We already do have voter interference from a lot of other countries, election interference, I should say. So a lot going on here in response to voting, even though we're kind of far from another presidential election. I'll continue to monitor things from here in the U.S. I'm Jackson Gosnell. Back to you.
Right, Jackson Gosnell live for us tonight. Thank you. And right now, we just want to fact check a few claims made about the voting law. President Joe Biden's claim that polls close at 5 p.m. is false. Voting hours remain between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's what the law allows. Also, while there will be fewer drop boxes, you have to remember that they weren't even used before the pandemic. And one of the most controversial claims you've probably seen is that people are banned from giving water to voters waiting in line. Now, although poll workers are still allowed to do that, other people who may be on a particular side of the political spectrum are restricted. So if they are in 150 feet of a polling place or within 25 feet of any voter, that is not allowed. Republicans say that move limits political interference. And of course, if you need something fact-checked, simply tag or DM us on social media. Just search 6 News AU to find us.